I want to start with a hug for my mother. If it wasn't for her, you probably wouldn't know my name. In December 2020, deep in a cold Brighton winter, I FaceTimed her in Buenos Aires and broke down. "Mum, I can't take this anymore. I'm coming home." I was barely playing. I lived in a quiet apartment. I was learning English on Zoom with clumsy lines like, "Hello, my name is Alexis." 2 offers were already on the table, Russia and Spain. The suitcase was practically shut. Then her voice, calm as ever. "Ale, why did you come this far? Remember La Cuca? Be brave. Don't quit today." I grew up in a family that breathes this game. My dad, El Colorado, played for Boca. He taught me more than glory, positioning, rhythm, the meaning of the right moment. My brothers and I drove 90 minutes to training every day in a beat-up black Ford car we called La Cuca. The AC barely worked. Lamona blasted from the speakers. The dream felt louder than the engine. The first time Dad took us to La Bombonera, it took an hour to move a few blocks because everyone stopped him for photos and autographs. That's when I understood. Football isn't just a job. It's a life. It's who we are when the lights go off. I landed in England in early 2020. 1 appearance off the bench, and then the world went dark with the pandemic. No football, no friends, no language. I called my mum for everything. How to use the oven, where the detergent goes. In empty stadiums and long weeks out of the squad, the name Mac Allister, which sounded Irish in England, meant nothing. By Christmas, I was ready to leave. Mum pulled me back to the backyard, to the shiny lawn of early summer, turning to a brown mud field by season's end because we slid around and knocked heads, to those nights when my brothers and I tried to out-touch one another. "You begged for this," she reminded me. "Don't run away from your own dream." I stayed. After Christmas, injuries hit the team and a door opened. In January 2022, I scored twice at Goodison Park, and suddenly everything clicked. I remember Dad's story about switching to the longest studs he could find and playing, as we say in Argentina, with a knife between your teeth. Every player has a turning point. For me, it was Goodison. Then Roberto De Zerbi arrived and gave me the most important gift: scanning. Every 2 seconds, take a mental picture of the board. 2 seconds, another picture. He showed me Martin Ødegaard, his head constantly moving, reading the game early. When you see earlier, you play sooner. With regular minutes, World Cup stopped feeling far away. The dream call came at a team hotel before a match at Wolves. I was on the list for Qatar. 2 years earlier, I could barely get off the bench. Now I was flying with Argentina. Then the opener turned into a hammer. Saudi Arabia pressed perfectly for 90 minutes. Goals we thought we'd scored were erased by VAR margins no wider than a thumbnail. At one point I was told to get ready to come on, then waved back while my family watched from behind the bench. It was painful, almost funny. But there's a reason a match lasts 90 minutes. If you can't suffer the final 10, you're not a champion. The media tore us apart. And then Leo spoke, asking the country to keep believing. When Leo says it, you believe. Argentina's DNA is this: we live inside chaos. Against the Netherlands, everything blew up. Shoves, words, grins. For us, that's almost a party. From that moment on, the team stopped being afraid. The night before the final, I slept 10 hours straight. France felt like playing inside a fog. The picture that stays with me is the pass into space for Angel Di Maria to make it 2-0, simple, decisive. Then extra time. A blue shirt raced through. The world stopped breathing, and Dibu Martinez threw out his left leg like a kid bouncing on a bed and saved a nation. Penalties. I stood in the middle of a storm, not sure where to run. When Gonzalo scored the winner, the team sprinted to Leo and Dibu. I just waved toward the stands like a little kid after his first match. "Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad. Was I okay?" Back in Buenos Aires, 5 million people poured into the streets after 36 years of waiting. We had to leave by helicopter. That memory will live with me forever. Back in England, rain slapping my face, cold in my bones, Adam Lallana said, "At first, Leo passed to you. Later, it felt like he was looking for you." I just smiled. At season's end, Jurgen Klopp flew in to meet me at a midpoint, very James Bond. He wanted me at Liverpool because he saw a bit of Gundogan in me, a midfielder who can clean and dare, break lines and break presses. I said yes. But Anfield isn't a fairy tale. The club refreshed the entire midfield. Our style differed from the previous group. Less rock and roll, more connection. A 1-1 at Luton on a freezing night was the bitter pill. Klopp walked in and said, "My old midfield would have found a way to win that." I stared at the floor. He was right. From there, we were sharper, more direct, and closer than ever, especially after he announced he would leave. Mo sets the standard. I tried to beat him to the gym. Impossible. He finishes abs, then says, "Now the real work starts." Sleep. 6.5 hours is enough. After 3 mornings trying to keep up, I could barely stand up. At Liverpool, professionalism isn't a slogan. It's the pulse. Arne arrived like a bridge. Less rock and roll, more control, very effective. More important, he listened when life off the pitch got heavy. In football, you don't always find that. I'm grateful. The locker room is a small family. Lucho calm and smiling. Darwin wonderfully wild. Allison, Mr. Perfect. Taffarel critiquing every mate. Too hot, too cold, and Soberschlei drinking all of ours even though he doesn't speak Spanish. We grill. We argue about who owns the Asado crown. Laughter gets you through the days. And one of us will always hold a special place. Diogo Jota, losing him so suddenly, ripped a hole in the team. I choose to remember his smile, because I believe he's still cheering us on from above. Some moments felt like signs. The 20th minute goal in the Community Shield, the 20th league title. Football is more than a game. It's memory and the thread that ties people together. When the final whistle blew against Tottenham, I dropped to my knees and cried. The Premier League is the toughest trophy. 9 months that grind your mind, body, and emotions. Maybe that's why it felt so real in my chest. After a summer of loss and the joy of knowing I would become a father, everything had new meaning. It's just football, not anymore. This is family. This is legacy. You cherish it because no one knows how long it lasts. In 2020, my name was a 0 at Brighton. 2 years later, I was a World Cup winner, then Copa America, then the Premier League, a Ballon d'Or nomination. I don't have a better explanation than this. I never quit. That's the lesson I want for my daughter. Maybe Argentines don't pick the easy road. Before we learn how to win, we learn how to suffer. That's why victory is beautiful. If you ask for the secret, I go back to that winter night in Brighton and my mother's line, "Be brave. Stay one more day." 1,001 more days built my road, from La Cuca to Lusail, from a secret coffee to a roaring Anfield. The rest is simple. Keep walking, scan the field early, and meet the ball with clarity, because the ball doesn't care how you feel. That's how I play this game, and that's how this story goes on.